how would I go about learning the banjo in 2026? They always say the best time to learn the banjo was 10 years ago, but the best time to learn the banjo is now. And in 2026, there's never a better time because you're absolutely spoilt for choice when it comes to different ways of learning how to play the banjo. Something that I didn't have when I first started. So in a sea of information and now in a world of AI, what is the best way to learn how to play the banjo in 2026? Now let's not overcomplicate this, let's keep it nice and simple. So first thing, you're going to want to get yourself a 5-string banjo. 5-string banjos, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, this one has 5 strings. So you've just got your banjo home. What you want to do first of all is just get comfortable. Get comfortable holding it. Get comfortable with how it feels. You know, it's a bit of an awkward shape. It's a big lump of wood and steel strings, so you want to get used to doing that. You're going to want a neck strap first of all, and your neck strap clips on to your banjo and it stops your banjo from moving. Because normally if you don't have a neck strap, your banjo tends to do this, slip down, and it's a pain in the ass. So you want to get a neck strap. Again, you don't need anything special, just a simple neck strap. You can buy one of them for, I don't know, five quid, £10 off eBay. And that's all you need as far as equipment goes. You know, if you're going to buy a used banjo, you want to get some new strings. I always advise getting 2 packs of strings. The strings that I use are these ones. These are perfect for beginners. They are D'Addario light gauge strings. I always recommend light gauge strings for new starters because they're a lot easier on your fingers. If you get the medium gauge strings, they can be quite painful after a while. You've got your banjo, you've got your neck strap, you've got some brand new strings on it, you get yourself tuned up to standard open G. That's G, D, G, B, D, and just get a feel for how that sounds, you know. I see it so often that people upload, you know, really great songs and they haven't tuned up beforehand. And just being in tune can make you sound 1,000 times better. So just get used to holding it, neck strap, you know, taking it off, putting it back on again, just doing that, and then just have a little noodle around, you know, just use your fingers to pick the strings, use the back of your middle fingernail just to like strum the strings like that, and just get a feel for it, you know. And then once you've comfortable with that and you're feeling like you're ready to start lesson 1, then, you know, as soon as you're ready, you're ready. It's as simple as that. So before you jump, you know, legs first into learning the banjo, what you probably want to do is just spend the first sort of week of owning your banjo just doing a little bit of research if you haven't done already. And there's 2 main styles of banjo playing on the 5-string banjo. There is the old-time style of playing, which usually doesn't require any picks, and we use a fingernail, you know, back of the middle fingernail to play a rhythmic style like that. That's called clawhammer. It's also known as old-time banjo, frailing banjo. There are subtleties to these, you know, categories of old-time styles of playing, but the sort of overall umbrella of this technique, it's called clawhammer. That's the kind of style that I've gravitated towards. This is my preferred style of playing. And the other main style of playing requires finger picks, usually a thumb pick and then 2 picks on your index and middle finger, and you pick the strings like that. And now with the finger picks, it'll sound a lot brighter, a lot louder, and using like a combination of rolling patterns and you know, other techniques. I used to finger pick a while ago, but I stopped. I started playing clawhammer. Anyway, so there's 2 main styles. You've got the clawhammer style and the finger picking style. And what people tend to do is, you know, gravitate to one more than the other. And there is absolutely no harm in, you know, trying to learn both styles at the same time. I think for most beginners, it's probably going to be a bit overwhelming. So maybe see which style you like the most and stick with that for a bit. And if you want to, after a month or two, you can have a go at the other style, or, you know, it's your learning journey. Try both at the same time, but just try not to get burnt out or overwhelmed with trying to learn two whole different styles, you know, all at once. From now on, from this sort of video forwards, I'm just going to focus on the claw hammer style of playing. If you're thinking about the finger picking style, then that's great as well, but stick around because there might be some useful information for the rest of this video that might help you on your way. Right, so now we've decided that we want to learn the claw hammer style. In my biased opinion, that's the best style. You're gonna do all right with the claw hammer. It's a lot of fun. So we're learning the claw hammer style. Now what you want to do is pick an introduction course to claw hammer banjo. Grab a pen and paper, because I'm going to tell you what these are. So pause the video, go get yourself a pen and paper. Right, so the first one that I personally like the most is what's called 30 Days of Claw Hammer Banjo. And that is by a YouTube channel called Banjo Journal. The teacher on there is Eli Gilbert. He is quite renowned as one of the best sort of claw hammer banjo teachers on the internet. So that would be my first port of call. Banjo Blitz. That is by another amazing teacher called Tom Collins. So that's Banjo Blitz, and they are smaller videos, and you can put them on your TV, sit down, relax with your banjo, and, you know, just practice them. Again, these introduction courses are designed to get you from sort of day one up to playing your first songs. Now, there is a new one that's just come out this year. It's one of my personal favourites. It's called Banjo and a Beer. It's one that I've put together myself. If you just go onto YouTube again, just type in Banjo and a Beer lesson 1. It's myself, just doing a simple banjo basics from absolute beginner up to playing your first song. Relaxed outdoor vibes and a ice cold glass of beer to keep us going at the same time. So there's 3 there to check out. Now, a critical thing that I think a lot of beginners seem to skip is trusting the process, allowing yourself to make mistakes, to fail, and to learn. Now, with the banjo, your failures, your mistakes, and your painful sort of learning process is going to be loud for everyone to hear. So if you're a little bit shy, a little bit ashamed that you're going to sound rubbish on day one, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. You will sound rubbish on day one. I sounded rubbish on day one, and no doubt you will too. It's all part of the fun. It's all part of the learning. But unlike, you know, other hobbies like art or writing or, you know, crochet, is that what it's called? Crochet? Knitting. You know, unlike other hobbies where you can fail quietly and you can throw your failures in the bin and no one can ever see them, with the banjo, everyone can hear every single mistake, especially you. And what beginners do, they get hyper focused on every little nuance, every little note, every little bum note, you know. And what I'd suggest is embrace your messy beginnings. Don't worry too much about sounding perfect. What I will encourage you to do though is from the first week is simply record yourself playing, save it into a folder. So use your voice memos app on your phone, save it, week 1. You don't have to listen to it back and forget about it. In week 2, do the exact same thing again. Just record what you've been working on in week 2, save it as week 2, forget about it. Week 3, week 4. And the reason why I say that is because by week 15, your transformation is going to be gradual, but it's going to be so noticeable. The only way you can tell that you've progressed as far as you have done is just go back to your week 1 and listen to it back. And I promise you, your future banjo will thank you for it. And, you know, a lot of the times we forget how far we've sort of progressed because we haven't sort of kept a log of how far we've come. Now, practice is the most important thing. You need to practice every day. You need to get into the habit of picking up your banjo every day. The easiest way to do that is simply to remove as much friction as possible between you interrupting whatever it is you like to do during the day to pick up your banjo and to put the work in. Now, it is work. A lot of people get a little bit scared about that word, but it is work. It requires time, effort, patience, persistence, and repetition. And if you don't like the sound of that, then I'm sorry, but that's the only way you're going to learn. And to make life as easy as possible, you want to remove as much friction as possible. My advice, keep your banjo out of its case all the time. Keep it on, get yourself a little banjo stand where you can keep it just upright, propped up next to a chair, next to a table with your banjo books, your laptop if you're watching this on a screen, your tablet or your laptop or your phone. You know, somewhere ideally out of the way, but don't worry too much about distractions. You know, you don't need to be isolated in a dark room with a mood candle where you get absolutely no distractions. Sometimes distractions can be helpful because it builds a bit of resilience, but at the same time, as much as your family love you, that banjo is going to start annoying them. So what you want to do is, ideally if you can, get out of the way, but try not to let, you know, things get in the way of your banjo practice. Remove as much friction as possible. So all you have to do is walk past, grab your banjo, sit down, press play, off you go. Lesson 2. The next day, grab your banjo, sit down, play. Lesson 3. And that is my advice for that, you know, practice every day. Best practice times is small chunks, so 10-15 minutes blocks, 10-15 minutes, put your banjo down, do something else, come back after about a 20-minute break, another 10-15 minutes. And if you do multiple 10 or 15-minute chunks throughout the day, that is the optimal banjo learning sort of practice time, if you will. What you don't want to do is do nothing all week and then get to Sunday afternoon and think that you're going to spend 4 hours marathon session, just grind it out. That's not how we learn stuff. So you have to just trust me on that. Small chunks, 10-15 minutes, have a break, 10-15 minutes, have a break. If you can do that multiple times during the day, you're going to make amazingly fast progress. Now you'll hear me just like sort of riffing away in the background there, just doing this. And I might make it look easy, and that's due to time and practice. But what we're doing with learning the banjo is we're learning multiple skills all at once. We're learning timing, rhythm, hand-eye coordination. We're learning to, you know, have two hands working together but working independently at the same time. We're going to learn our musical ear. So we're not just learning one skill, we're not just learning how to play the banjo, we're learning multiple skills and sort of layering them on top of each other like that. Now it's impossible to learn them all in one go. So with the clawhammer style, you're going to learn timing first, followed by rhythm. Once we've done that, learn chords. Then after that, we're going to learn melodies. And then from there, you know, we can learn a song. Tell me now when I get home, the boys won't leave the girls alone. They pull me hair and stole my comb, well that's alright till I get home. She's handsome, she's pretty, she's the belle of Belfast City. She's a courting 1, 2, 3, pray won't you tell me who is she? Once you can play a song from memory and you can sing and play, you can bring your banjo into the great outdoors, relax, have fun, and that's what it's all about. And for everything to become easy, we really need to master the bum-ditty rhythm. And when I say master it, what I mean by master is we need to get to a position where that motion on all the strings requires absolutely no cognitive effort on your part. You don't even have to think about it, you don't have to look at your hand, you can just do it. So once you've mastered that, the chords that you want to learn, now there are hundreds of different chord shapes that you can learn in clawhammer banjo. You only really need to learn a handful to play thousands of songs. And the beautiful thing about the banjo is it's tuned to open G, so without even using this hand, I can play a G chord. Then the first chord you normally learn is a D7, it requires 2 fingers. The next chord after that is a C chord, requires 3 fingers. And then the next chord after that is probably just an E minor, nice and easy. Just lift one finger off. Just those 4 chords, you can play thousands of songs. So that's the open G, the D7, the C chord and the E minor. 4 chords, and you can learn quite literally thousands of different songs. And the great thing about learning chords is it works out our fretting hand. And there are micro, fast twitch muscles in these fingers that we need to train to get strong and to improve that coordination so that we can, use our bum ditty action with this hand and play chords with this hand without looking. And if that sounds a bit too much for you already, don't worry. Like I said, those introduction courses will get you up to speed with all of this. Nice and simple, one lesson at a time. Now, once we've got that under our belts, we just want to learn a simple song. Now, really, once you've learnt a song, that is the most sort of eureka aha moment, I have made it. Because once you score that first win of playing your first banjo song, it just solidifies all your work and all your time and effort and patience that you've put into learning, and you can play a song. Now, usually the first song that you learn is Skip to My Lou. That just requires 2 chords, that's the open G and the D7. And then normally after that, you learn another tune called Boil Them Cabbage Down, which sounds like this. Boil them cabbage down, boys, bake those hoe cakes brown, boys. The only song that I can pick is Boil Them Cabbage Down. First 2 songs in the bag. Once you've got that, you are on your way to becoming a really great banjo player. Now, all of that, everything that I've just said, isn't going to happen overnight. It's going to require anywhere between, I'd say, 2 months to 6 months of practice and time and effort. And if you want to speed up that process, if you want to learn banjo at a much deeper level, from beginner up to your first few songs and beyond, you need to go to banjoadventures.com because I've got everything you need to get you going.